90%. That's how much of all U.S. healthcare spending goes to treating chronic diseases. And the science is, well, it's crystal clear. A huge chunk of those diseases are tied directly to what we eat. We're not just talking about food choices here. This is about the health of the entire country. Yeah, those astronomical costs, that's what's pushing this whole thing forward. This is probably one of the biggest, most dramatic shifts in nutritional advice we've seen in, well...
Before we begin the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more good quality, trusted medical videos.
So what's the government doing about it? Well, here's their official response. The new 2025-2030 Dietary Guidelines for Americans, or DGAs for short. And let me tell you, this thing is a huge departure from what we're used to. Get this, new streamlined vision for how we should all be eating. And boom, here it is. This is the new visual guide for the American diet. You can just forget about all those complicated pyramids from the past. This new graphic boils it all down to 3 simple groups of whole foods. You've got your protein, dairy, and healthy fats, your vegetables and fruits, and your whole grains. The message couldn't be clearer. Keep it simple, and for goodness sake, keep it religious. Is this really powerful call to just get back to basics, to eat real unprocessed food? And that brings us to the first really big U-turn. This one completely overturns decades of that low-fat, low-meat dogma we all grew up with. And the change is, it's really stark. Remember when we were all told to be scared of saturated fat and to cut back on red meat? Well, the new guidelines are flipping that script. Now the focus is all about bringing in healthy fats and prioritizing protein from real whole foods. Definitive end to that whole low-fat era that told us what to eat for so long. Okay, so what does this actually mean for your grocery list? What does it look like on your plate? Well, it means you're prioritizing fats from whole food sources. It means things like butter, even beef tallow are back on the table. And that big push to demote beef, it was officially rejected. Oh, and full-fat dairy, that's not just allowed, it's actually encouraged. Okay, so if fats and protein are getting a comeback tour, you have to wonder, what's taking their place as the new bad guy on the block? Well, for the first time in history, these guidelines are pointing the finger and naming a brand new enemy. And that new enemy? It's something called ultra-processed foods, or UPFs. Now, the key thing to get here is that we're not just talking about food with a few extra ingredients. No, UPFs are basically industrial creations. They're products made with stuff you would never, ever find in your home kitchen. Things like modified starches or weird protein isolates. So what are we talking about here? Think about it. Sugary drinks, all those packaged snacks like chips and cookies, processed meats like hot dogs and ham, a lot of breakfast cereals, and those instant noodle soups. The new advice is pretty clear. We need to seriously cut back on all of this stuff. And this whole war on processed food, it has a very clear bullseye, and that is sugar. The new rule is, honestly, it's stunning. It says no amount of added sugars or non-nutritive sweeteners is recommended. And yeah, that includes artificial sweeteners too, your aspartame, your sucralose. This is hands down the toughest stance against added sugar we have ever seen in these guidelines. Experts are going to keep debating all the fine print. The main message of these new guidelines is actually really clear. So let's forget the debate for a second and just translate this into your next meal. Let's build that perfect 2026 plate step by step. All right, so building your plate really just comes down to 5 easy steps. First, step 1, start with real food. Make unprocessed ingredients like meat, fish, and veggies the stars of your plate. Step 2, don't fear the protein and healthy fats. We're talking eggs, full-fat dairy, avocados, even butter. Step 3, fill up the rest of your plate with tons of color from different veggies and fruits. Step 4, if you're gonna have grains, go for the whole grain options like oats or brown rice. And finally, step 5, and this one might be the most important of all, is to eliminate. You gotta become a label reader. Actively avoid those UPFs and cut out anything with added sugar. You know, when you think about it, this is a massive shift, right? We're moving away from all these complicated rules and that fear of fat to this super simple mantra: eat real food.